want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop unfriend me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's new.
Hey, Hogs Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The Dumb Show and his website, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? My name is Matthew Spear. I am the host of Don't Unfriend Me.
Sorry.
Welcome to the show. I mean, I make all these wonderful toys. Nobody appreciates them because my wife won't play them.
Sorry.
Wait till they get a load of me. My wife, Olivia Spear, of course, she won't forget hers. If only I had cool music.
We can make you one.
No. What's this wee shit, white
You
man?
can make yourself one.
I
Is
can
that
make
better?
I can make myself one. That would be better. So we're sitting here tonight. We're like, we're not going to go on. No show, right? And I got back from the docks today, and trying to dial in my testosterone and estrogen and all that shit because I'm 50. And I wouldn't care if I didn't lift, but I'm not going to sit there and lift just to lift. I got to take care of the old hormone shit. And yeah, I'm wearing a Sox hat. It's my son's baseball team. Don't give me any shit. I'm not a White Sox fan. I have some self-respect. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I got into a mood. I got into a funk. Olivia, you are so beautiful. Yeah, thanks. What am I, chopped liver? Anyway, no makeup. It's ridiculous.
I'm wearing makeup.
No, you're not. What makeup are you wearing?
It's my normal mascara.
Do you have lipstick on?
No.
Do you have blush on?
Do I
Do you
ever?
have, excuse me. Answer the following questions. Do you have lipstick on?
No.
Do you have blush on?
Yes.
You don't have any blush on.
I put it on this morning.
Do you have any foundation?
Cover up.
You have foundation.
No.
Do you have eyeshadow on?
No.
Do you have eyeliner on?
Yes.
Do you have mascara on?
Yes.
Yeah, you're hardly wearing makeup. I don't want to hear this
It's
crap.
my daily routine. That's all I do.
You hardly have any makeup. Matt, you are so beautiful. Thanks, Mike. That's what I'm talking about. I've got my mascara and eyeliner on. Anyway, so my beard is getting too damn long. I got to trim this thing. All right, whatever. Okay, listen. So I'm sitting downstairs, and I'll admit to you, I had a moment of, it wasn't depression. It was just like, give up, quit with Don't Unfriend Me. I don't know why. I just was like, you know what? It's not big enough. It's not growing fast enough. It's too much work. Fuck this. I'm done. And of course, that last 2 minutes, it's kind of like my sex life. And then
To give yourself credit, it's 2.5.
2.5. So and then I just was like, so I went upstairs. I took Ethan to baseball practice, and I'm like sitting there and it's raining. I'm like, that's all I wanted to do is sit outside, read my book, and just watch Ethan practice. I got this new rocking chair type slider chair thing for Olivia and I. And I was like, I'm so excited. And then it started raining. I'm like, okay, you know what? This sucks. Rumble wasn't working.
I don't know. It's working for me.
Okay, well then, as long as it's there, you see it.
Yeah.
All right, Rumble's working. Anyway, so I got there and I'm just like, it's raining, and forget it. I'm like, Ethan, I'll pick you up at 7:30. So I came home and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get ready for a show. And I'm like, fuck it, I don't want to do a show. Pardon my French. And I was, I'm gonna go work out. I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to work out. I've worked out like 6 days this week. I don't want to work out. Not this week, but within the last 7. And I'm like, I don't want to work out. And I was like, for 2 minutes, I got absolutely like melancholy, and I don't know why. And then I turned on the Astros game, and I saw this amazing Elon Musk interview that just gave me chills. And I'm like reinvigorated. And I look at Olivia. I said, Olivia, show must go on. We're going on. And she's like, when are we going on? I'm like, I'm going right now. And she's like, we're going on right now? No, we're not going on right now. And this is definitely a swingers moment. We ain't going to Vegas. Vegas. Who's going?
Playing a very competitive game of Go Fish with Ethan.
Who's going to Vegas? We're going to Vegas? No, we ain't going to no Vegas.
Oh, I don't have those.
Where are we going? We're going to Vegas right now? No, we're not doing no Vegas. No, we're not going to Vegas. Anyway, I don't mean shut up, but go ahead. You were playing a competitive game.
Very competitive game of Go Fish.
Of Go Fish with my son. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, we got 12 minutes. Let's go. And of course, Olivia is just Olivia. She's like, when I'm like, I don't want to do the show, she's like, okay. And then when she's like, I want to do the show. Okay. And I showed her this video of Elon Musk and your thoughts quickly before we watch it. Don't go into a bunch of detail, but
it's freaking hilarious.
Right.
I love Elon Musk.
So I was like, well, now I'm inspired. Right. So earlier, and I think what got me down is I read the Durham report, and I got 300 pages. And I read it in like 45 minutes. And that's exhausting.
What is that?
Well, I'll tell you tonight.
Okay.
So it was exhausting. It was the investigation in the Russian collusion hoax, 2016. And I just looked at how much they missed and how much was not done. And I realized that after 3 years, it's kind of just this put it on the shelf. If you put anything on the shelf for 3 years, the world doesn't care anymore. And this holds true to 2016 and the Durham report. So we'll talk about that. And then I want to show you this video about this group called Patriot Front. And they are a white supremacist group out of Texas. And I've got mixed emotion and feelings. The right are screaming. Well, the left are screaming that this is going to end democracy, of course, because that's all they fucking say. That's all they know how to say. It's going to end democracy. Do you want a Tums?
I'm good. Thank you.
Great. So it's going to end democracy. Everything's going to end democracy. Herpes is going to come back. It's going to end democracy. And then
speaking of herpes, Ethan asked me what it was the other day on the way to baseball practice. I know.
Why?
I don't know.
Isn't that out of left field? Give me a rim shot. Give me a fucking rim shot. How can you not have a rim shot ready for me?
Because I don't know. I've got it on Joe Biden right now.
It's way out of left field.
Yeah, you said it and it just reminded me.
Where did he hear about herpes? Hurry up.
I think one of his friends said something at school.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Boys.
All right. So when we talk about the Patriot Front group, the left are all like, this group is going to grow and it's going to monasticize into this giant oppressive white supremacist Nazi army. Give me a break. So these guys look like a group of invisible men. They're all wearing baklavas on their face. And they look stupid. It's just dumb. You'll see this, and I'll show it to you. And somebody just needs to go and beat these douchebags up. So anyway, it's going to end democracy. Of course, the right are like, it's all FBI. It's the FBI. I saw a video where somebody said, I recognize you, man, and he's FBI. People, just stop. It is possible to have white nationalist groups. And why the hell are we defending them? And why the hell are we trying to, alter the way they're being perceived? Who gives a shit? They're a white supremacist group. Yes, they are. I've researched the group. They've been around since 2017. They splintered off from another white supremacist group in Texas. I'm aware of the group in Texas. I live there. Anyone who's from Texas has heard of these yahoos. It's just stupid. We'll talk about these jackanapes tonight as well. And then what the hell else are we talking about, Liv? I
don't know.
Oh, England and the Second Amendment. Wow. go figure, that an actual Brit needs to tell us about the Second Amendment and why it's important. I mean, we've come full circle from, fighting the English and shedding ourselves from tyrannical British rule. And now the English, the Brits, are having to educate us on the Second Amendment, which is ridiculously cool. So stay tuned. We have a lot to do tonight. If you have not had a chance, let me tell you who this show is sponsored by. It is sponsored by PFC. Percival Flag Company, folks. They make the cool wooden flags behind myself and Olivia. They are badassery. In Fuego. Go to pfcflags.com and get your own wooden flag made in the United States. All for your viewing pleasure. Stop by pfcflags.com and pick yourself up an American flag made of wood. The one behind Olivia is a brand new one. It is I don't know, 3.5 feet.
Yeah.
Maybe 1.5 feet wide.
Yeah, it's brand new. They just released it.
It's a banner flag. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's all engraved, solid, beautiful wood, stained, fired in the mountain of Mordor. Anyway, go over there and see that. So we have a lot to do tonight. I wanted to do the Elon Musk thing right. What do you got going on over there, woman?
I was texting Jason to see if he'd seen the video yet.
What? That's not important right now. That's pop smoke. We're doing a show. Let's do it later. Jason, who cares? He's getting it for free. What does it matter? It's a new flag. Go buy a flag at PFC. Okay. How much are they? They range. There's flags over there for $50, the desktop flags, which are small, engraved, beautiful desktop flags, up to $1,000 for certain flags. It's gorgeous. I mean, they're unparalleled in quality. I love them to death. Here, I'll quickly show you that. I built their website, so I figured I'd have to get that in there. Yeah, so you can see their stuff real quick while Olivia and I are here. They're gorgeous. So, yep, all of them. All made of wood. Smaller ones are like $49. And then they've got amazing wooden engraved ones. I mean, they're gorgeous. And then they can also come in frames too, custom frames like that. Neat. Yeah, stop on by. They've got the Thin Blue Line, the Black Ops, the 13 Stars, the desktops like I had mentioned, military desktops too, Appeal to Heaven, Navy, Marine Corps, Army, all that stuff. Stop on by PFC Flags. Go take a look and tell them Matt sent you. So they're awesome. And Jason will work out a deal with you. Just tell him you're from the Dumb Show. All right, Livy, you ready to get into this?
Yes.
Because we don't have a ton watching. How are we doing on Rumble?
15.4 on YouTube.
Okay. All right, folks, if you have not had a chance, please share on Rumble, on YouTube. Go over there and follow, like, share, and subscribe. That would mean a great deal. It keeps the lights on and helps. You can also go to thedumbshow.com if you don't want to buy a flag. You can get cool gear like the Mass Media shirt, coffee, everything else over thedumbshow.com, and you can save 10%. I want to start off with the Elon Musk video. I wasn't going to start off with the Elon Musk video, but I think we're going to start him off. Does this guy use a chainsaw to? No, I know the chainsaw guy, and it's really not that impressive. I mean, it's like basically using a 12 gauge shotgun to shoot a flea. What's the point? I mean, you're just trying to be too manly. I'm going to use a chainsaw to cut an American flag. Come on. Just too manly for me. All right. Here's the thing. I'm going to zoom into Olivia's picture. There we go. All right. So Elon Musk had an interview. And this was on CNBC. Olivia, keep us up to date with comments, please.
Yes.
If anybody says anything that we need to be aware of. And a lot of people, like everybody, anybody who's prominent, they have their series of fans and their series of haters. And some people are like, of course, Elon Musk is New World Order. He's World Economic Forum. You people are so pathetic. And then other people are like, he's going to destroy our democracy. I wonder which side's going to do that. I wonder who that's going to be. It couldn't be the left, could it? He's going to destroy our he's going to destroy our democracy. He's a racist. He's from South Africa. Okay. He's a Nazi. What? So, of course, everybody has their opinion about it. I happen to like Elon Musk. I have followed him a lot longer than most. Because really I saw, the Bill Gateses, the Bill Shepherds, the Waltons, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Bezos, all the major billionaires, the Hiltons, the Crowns, and those type of people. And Elon was on a fast pace to be extremely prolific, influential, and did some amazing things with PayPal, and then obviously Tesla and SpaceX. And when he bought Twitter, a lot of people were like, oh, this guy's going to destroy Twitter. He's a liberal. And then all of a sudden he's like, no, I'm all about freedom of speech. And he has demonstrated that repeatedly. Now, a lot of people are like, he doesn't believe in the stolen election. He's a traitor. You're an idiot. Elon Musk is a purveyor of speech. He is an intelligent and articulate man. I love how his brain works. And this interview, in my opinion, is single-handed.
Sorry.
Who?
Jason, I had to answer.
Stop, Jason. Seriously, for the love of God. It's like you guys have an affair or something. Is there something I need to know?
No.
Okay. So Jason here, she's like, no. Yeah, that's reassuring. Sorry, Jason. I know that probably kicked you in the cojones a little bit, but that's the way it works. So when we take a look at this, the thing that strikes me is that he takes time at the end of this to think for like 15 seconds without saying a word. And that is a skill set that most people don't possess. The ability to remain uncomfortable with people. Barbara says, love your post. Which one, Barbara? I post a lot of things. So I want you to watch this. And anyone who doubts Elon Musk should refer to this video for the rest of their life. Here it is. Here it isn't. This happens. Here it is.
But how do you make a choice? You don't see, in terms of when you're going to engage. For example, even today, Elon, you tweeted this thing about George Soros. Well, I'm looking for it because I want to make sure I quote it properly. But, you know what you wrote. But you basically...
It reminds me of Magneto. This is like, calm down, people. This is not like made a piddle case out of it.
You also... No.
First, if there's any...
It shouldn't be on. Sorry.
Please stop texting during the show.
Yes.
What are you, 4?
Yeah.
Should we get our children to come in here and teach us ethics on the TV show? Tell Jason I'm going to cut his nuts off and feed them to him if he texts you one more time.
I'm on Do Not Disturb on my computer now.
Yeah, until the next time it makes a noise. Anyway, so did you want to go for a puff or a powder real quick? Or are you okay? What? Do you want to go powder your nose or something? Or
no,
you're fine? Okay. You don't have to go to the powder room?
No.
Okay.
Good.
Did mow the lawn, wash your hair, anything? Okay.
Well, if we had some chocolate, but
Okay. Anyway, so George Soros is Jewish. Now, a lot of people say that he made money off the Jews in World War II with the Nazis. Folks, he was like fucking 6 years old. Okay. So shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. George Soros is philanthropic in his design, but he is also a master manipulator. He spends egregious amounts of money on propaganda, on sowing division in the United States, and he absolutely 100% is Amber. What are you talking about? Jealousy is a bitch.
I don't know.
What the fuck does that? Amber, you don't come around enough to talk to me like that anymore. Anyway, so he absolutely is a wolf in sheep's clothing. But this is the left's person, and they hold on to his Jewishness in order to say that we are anti-Semitic. Now, there's not many people who are Jewish that the right go after. In fact, we support Israel and American and Judaism and American Jews more than the Democrats ever possibly could. But this is the one thing. It's like January 6th. It's their one ace in the hole where they go ahead and have the ability to kind of throw that anti-Semitic bullshit our way, even though they've got Ilhan Omar in their party. And the thing that I would say about Soros is most people know what he does. Now, Elon Musk compared him to Magneto. Now, Magneto, if you don't know his history, in the X-Men, left Nazi Germany, was serialized, saw his mother die, but he also had the power to control metal. He could wrap it and shape it and fabricate it, anything that he wanted. But when he was that young, he didn't have the powers to do that. So Paul says, whoa, chat just went red. Olivia, what does that mean?
I have.
Can you ask that person what it means? Because I don't know, Paul. So at that point, he compares him to Magneto. And then the left freak out and they call Elon Musk an anti-Semite and say that he's racist and that George Soros is just, this just person who's picked on just because he's Jewish, which is just complete bullshit. So, of course, when Elon Musk shows up, this reporter wants to paint Elon Musk in a certain way. He wants to trivialize him. He wants to put him in the corner. And Karen, do you know how many people have worked for the World Economic Forum who are in the Fortune 500? I've worked for 2 of them, bosses of mine who worked for. Okay, I understand you guys think that the WEF is essentially the new Trilateral Commission and the Skulls and Bones. They are a hapless, lapless societal group of people whose visions ultimately get no traction whatsoever because they don't do it through due process. They do it through popularity. The WEF is as much of a threat as any World Bank or any New World Order initiative. It's not going to hold in the United States. They've been trying this for 70 years. Okay. So yes, she also is a member of like 186 different conservative sites. She's fairly middle of the ground. She's qualified in my opinion. And just because she has WEF in her title on her resume, it doesn't mean she's Satan. So there is a reason I'm not going to sit here and continue to show you a video with no context because that's not my show. I don't show other people's stuff and make money off their crap. I'm going to give you my opinion. So if you want to see the video, it takes 2 seconds for you to type in CNBC, Austin, Texas, Elon Musk video today, and you can circumvent the entire show and watch it there. Or you can have a little bit of patience and show that your cranium actually contains gray matter and you have the ability to exemplify patience and watch the video when I'm done. The whole point about this answer is that Elon Musk shows his true colors in this, and the level of patience that he has and he demonstrates is something that you rarely often see. Now I'm going to play it for the impatient nannies that can't handle it, so you can watch.
You said he wants to erode the very fabric of civilization, and Soros hates humanity. Like, when you do something like that, do you
I think that's true. That's my opinion.
Okay, but why share it? Why share it? Especially, why share it when people who buy Teslas may not agree with you, advertisers on Twitter may not agree with you, why not just say, hey, I think this. You can tell me, we can talk about it over there, you can tell your friends, but why share it widely?
I mean, this is freedom of speech. I'm allowed to say what I want.
You absolutely are, but I'm trying to understand why you do, because you have to know it's got it puts you in the middle of the partisan divide in the country. It makes you a lightning rod for criticism. I mean, do you like that? People today saying he's an anti-Semite. I don't think you are.
No, I'm definitely. I'm like a pro-Semite, if anything.
I believe that probably is the case.
Yes.
But why would you even introduce the idea then that would be the case?
I mean, look, we don't want to make this a George Soros interview.
No, God, no. I don't want to at all. But what I'm trying, even came up though in the annual meeting. I mean, do your tweets hurt the company? Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man. Or, I can't get these ads because of some of the things.
So if you watch right there, his demeanor changes. That's the first time in an interview, really, anyone has mentioned Linda Yaccarino. And I'm surprised they didn't say, well, she's a member of the World Economic Forum. But if you watch his facial expression here, he's not perturbed, but he's getting a little annoyed. And when he makes an assumption that Linda Yaccarino will come up to him and say, oh, you got to stop, Elon, blah, 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 blah. What he's thinking in his head is, and I'm not Elon Musk, but I'm telling you the facial expression and what he's thinking and what I'm reading, and Liv will tell you I'm pretty good at this. Maybe she won't.
You're very good at it.
Thank you so much, sweetie. I appreciate it. People are like, leave Liv alone. Leave Brittany alone. No, she's my fucking wife. I'm the one that has to put up with her. Treat her the way I want. She'll treat me the way she wants. I mean, she's sitting there talking to Jason all hours in the fucking morning. All right. So watching Elon and his face here, his whole thought process is like, how dare you say that Linda Yaccarino will ever be able to tell me what to do? Right? He's probably like, fuck you, dude. I didn't hire her for that. She's free speech just like I am. And that's probably the number one prerequisite that he looked for in his CEO, is someone that was unabashedly, unapologetic, a free speech, just an avid supporter. So when you watch this, watch his face and watch when he mentions her name.
I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet. Do your tweets hurt the company? Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man. Or, I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet.
Boom, watch this.
I'm reminded of there's a scene in The Princess Bride. Great movie.
Great movie.
Where he confronts the person who killed his father. And he says, offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care. Where he confronts the person who killed his father. And he says, offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
Okay.
There you go, folks. In my opinion, hands down, single-handedly, the most impactful interview I have ever seen, especially in a 2 minute and 45-second clip, since Barbara Wawa did Robin Givens and Mike Tyson, or Bill and Hillary Clinton, which were very, these were hard-hitting interviews. Barbara Walters didn't pull any punches. you just found out everything you need to know about Elon Musk. And before Olivia gets to chime in with her opinion, because I want to get it terribly, because we held off on this and didn't talk about this, is there's a movie called The Knight's Tale. And if you haven't seen it, you're making a mistake.
Such a good movie.
It's fantastic. First of all, it's a rock opera with modern day music from all sorts of fantastic composers of modern day and classic rock. Queen is in there. I think you've got some Zeppelin in there. I mean, just great stuff. Heart. Anyway, but it's done in the days of Thoreau.
Medieval times.
And medieval times and jousting and prince and paupers and
Knights.
royalty. Right. And in the movie, at one point, Heath Ledger, who is a common man who was born in outside the keep and outside the castle walls with the townsfolk and the peasants, rises up through deceit to become a nobleman and a lord. And his patents of nobility are forged and penned and suited in lies. His garments are cloaked in shame. But he somehow strikes an accord with a damsel, runs the table in the jousting competition, and is so good at swords that he decides it's beneath him and is making wonderful money and decides to stop because jousting is what he wants to do, even though he is not as prolific at it as he has swords. And he raises himself through the ranks of the other dukes and the criers and the other nobles. And he gets himself a seat at the table. But like all good stories and fairy tales, they must have an evil doer, and they must all come to an end. Because no matter the fairy tale, very rarely do they have happy endings, or at least there's some sort of tragedy that takes place in exchange for a happy ending. Somebody always has to die, somebody has to eat the poison apple, and someone has to slumber forever in eternity. And then somebody has to be those damn dwarves, constantly looking up Snow White's skirt, but never reaching the prize that they covet. This is why I don't hurry, because you get stories like this.
Being able to combine Knight's Tale and
Thank you.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarves.
Thank you. It's
Pretty impressive.
It's appreciated. I'm turning you on. I know, I can tell. But you're not getting this from Jason through text. So anyway, now that...
That was a mistake, but okay.
That was good. It actually played. So as he falls from grace and his patents of nobility and fineries are stripped from him, and he is in the locks and stocks in the town square being pummeled by rotten vegetation from the people who he stemmed from and the townsfolk. As he is there with his neck and his wrist level across the same horizon, he gleams into the crowd and stares into the hate and the anger and vitriol and the petulance being thrown at him at rapid succession. And who was once at a place of royalty is now a commoner in the sewers yet once again. And as he scans over the horizon, he sees a group of 5 men, all in cloaks, almost elven folk, as the brim of their hoods are pulled down low across their brow where they cannot be seen, except for chiseled jaws, with stubble of black and blonde and brown, is all you can see of these hardened men. And as one of them steps forth and throws the ominous hood onto his back, you see a curly-haired black man who is the prince of these lands. And he had an exchange with this commoner on horseback as they had a joust event that went to a draw, as he showed mercy upon the prince but still rode him hard and hit him hard when he had to, and did not relent or did not tilt. And he earned the prince's respect. And as this man is laying in the shackles, the prince leans down and begs him to admit his crime, just so he can gain a moment of reprieve. And Heath Ledger looks up and with a simple word says, nay. And when the mob gets closer, all of his friends, the poet, the Irish blacksmith, and the two fools who help him put on his gear, all grab weaponry, blacksmith hammers. They draw clubs to defend him from getting pelted. And the prince, as he moves between them, says these simple words to Heath Ledger. Remember Heath Ledger's name in the show?
William.
That's right, William. And he goes, William, if I know nothing else about you, your men are loyal and would die for you. And that would be enough. But you also tilt when you should withdraw. And he says, that is knightly. And then at that point, he demands that William is free from the shackles. And as he draws upon his golden tabard with his sharkskin hilted sword and draws it to the heavens, and it gleams upon the sun, the high noon sun, and blinds all who stares at it, he asks William to kneel. And as he puts the blade upon each shoulder and says a few incantations of historic references from the days of Charlemagne, knights William and gives him the nobility that he has long coveted. Why do I tell you this story? Well, I tell you this story because Elon Musk, if we know nothing else about him, and all we know is that in front of millions of people, as a CEO, simply said, my speech is not for sale. He also says to you that your speech is not for sale either. And if we know nothing else about him, that makes him knightly. He deserves your respect. And in my opinion, I think that is one of the most prolific and profound things I have heard from a CEO in my life. And I think it was awesome. So there's my opinion. Olivia, what do you think?
Well, how can I follow up with that?
You just say it's good. It's good.
It's good.
No, what did you think? I mean, you got Elon Musk. You don't know a lot about him. He's South African. People say that he's got, what is it? It's not Tourette's. It's not Down syndrome. It's, come on.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, you have. Give me, come on. Of course you have. Fully functional autism.
Oh.
So he has, diagnosed autism. What are your thoughts on him and what you heard and what you saw? What do you think?
I think it's great. He's saying that no one can buy him, and he's going to keep Twitter right where it is, and people can post what they want, and he doesn't care, which I think is great.
What do you think the left would say about that?
I think they're pissed. I think they're very, very pissed because they had Twitter as a platform to freaking hand out their propaganda and their false fact checking and hiding news stories and blah, blah, blah. So I think they're pissed they don't have that anymore. Now they have to rely on Facebook and Zuckerberg.
Kelly Pruitt says the following: who looks like somebody, an actress. Kelly Pruitt.
I need put her picture back up. She does look like somebody. She looks familiar.
Oh, she looks like Mandy Moore.
Oh,
She looks like Mandy Moore's
she
clone.
does.
Yeah, very much like Mandy Moore. She says, I adore your show. My husband has been welding all day. Sorry. He stuck his head in the back door. I have my tablet on the microwave with the all just turned up loud. He said, I'm not going to eat tonight, am I? I barked out, I can watch and fry chicken at the same time, hocus pocus. And he knows I am a fan. Will you tell him to enjoy his chicken, Miss Pruitt? And thank you for watching and cooking chicken at the same time. That does take a particular set of skills. I'm a big fan of Elon Musk because I believe that in the darkest hour, that the printing press, that the parchment paper with iron gall ink and the quill, that the telegraph, the telephone, the recorder, the tape cassette, the DVR, all of our way of consuming and recording media has all expired. And really, we have social media left. That's all we have. And although it's not perfect, the days of walking into your town center and making a declarative statement that people would take seriously are over. And without social media, you take away the parapet, you take away, the pulpit, not the parapet, the pulpit, you take away the lectern, you take away the megaphone to convey your message. And I think that in the darkest hour where social media companies were doing whatever they wanted based upon the left's regard, he reinstated a little bit of faith, especially in Twitter. Now, I will tell you, Twitter is not run perfectly. It's a kerfuckle of a nightmare. I lost my blue check mark because I changed my name from Don't Unfriend Me to Don't Unfriend Me Show, and I can't get it back. My ads on Twitter haven't been running, but I've been charged. So there's some screw ups, but I'm willing to accept that because of what it stands for. And I think it's awesome. Asperger, that's right. Now, isn't Asperger a form of autism?
It is. It's like, I don't know. I've known somebody with Asperger's. They're very. It is definitely a version of autism. They're very socially awkward.
Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism spectrum disorder, is a development disorder. Young people with Asperger's syndrome have a difficult time relating to others socially, and their behavior and thinking patterns can be rigid and repetitive. Holy shit.
One of my employees had Asperger's.
You know, I've always said that definitely sounds like me. Don't smile. It makes me feel, yeah. That was awesome. There was one thing my grandfather used to say was, no matter what, when you have nothing, you still have your word. Isn't that the truth? Half of the left are clueless on who Elon actually is. They don't even know he came from Africa. That's true. He's the first black CEO, first African CEO, isn't he? Elon Musk may as well have been wearing a Captain America shield when he said that. Tanera, isn't it true? And isn't it so funny that our heroes are so few and far between, that something as simple as someone exercising their God-given and natural rights of free speech are considered heroes nowadays, when they just would have been Americans and patriots any other day? It shows you how far we've fallen. It's interesting. Elon's mother was an amazing influence on Elon and his accomplishments. She, through her examples, taught him how to rise above and accomplish greatness. Elon is very proud of his mother. Darlene, are you a writer? Darlene Altrichter. I think you're a writer. Darlene, am I correct in my assumption that you are a purveyor of words? Listen to how it's written. Elon's mother was an amazing influence on Elon and his accomplishments. She, through her examples, taught him how to rise above and accomplish greatness. Elon is very proud of his mother. Tell me that is just not poetic in its own right. Very well written, Darlene. My Tesla stock tripled. Then Ramon comes in. I'm watching all on my TV. Now I got you on my phone so I can comment. Good evening. Hi, Darla.
Amber said she got stars and they disappeared. Any word on the stars?
What do you mean you got stars?
She said stars. That's new. And then she said, oh, now they're gone. So I don't know if it's the yellow stars that we've been trying to get or whatnot, but.
Wait a second. Really?
Yeah, but then they left. So Amber, if you could give us
Amber, can you give me a little bit more
info on it?
Give me a little 411, please. A little bit more info.
You're sure good on your
The skinny.
accents tonight.
The skinny. My son has Asperger's. It's a socialization disorder. Folks, I got to check this now because this is important. I've been trying to get stars.
That's what I was thinking. But you were right in the middle of your story. I don't want to say anything. I didn't want to lose your train of thought.
Which one?
The Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Knight's Tale.
I finished it.
No, but this was in the middle. She passed
Oh,
it up.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I didn't want to lose your train of thought.
Got it. Well, you know what? These people are more important than this. Let me know if we have stars. When you become a millionaire, remember, you don't have a last name without my first name.
I think she was talking to Ramon about the Tesla stock tripling.
Oh. Okay. I thought you were talking about me. Remember that the host can't always see threats. That's correct. The look on his face when he said that gave me chills. Yeah, me too. It's pretty amazing. He did a great job. Okay. Hi, Matt. Hi, Darla. I don't see no stars. Okay.
Okay, Amy just said, I went to comment and I got a queue for stars. When I went to buy stars, it said it was for James Klug. I refreshed it and the stars went away. Weird.
It's so weird. Listen, guys and girls, don't buy stars. Just go buy something from the shop so you get something for your money. I don't want you to throw money at me. I'm not a I don't know, court jester or a street corner performer with a banjo and horribly dirty feet. I'm a capitalist. Go get something for your money. Go get some coffee. Go get a shirt. Go buy a flag from PFC Flag. Get something for your money. Don't throw money at me like I'm some peddler.
Did Elon ever say he wanted to chip people?
Yeah, well, it's not what he said. He believes that there are certain portions of the brain that can be fixed with chips. Now, folks, if you're going to sit there and be like, oh my God, how could he put that? Okay, well, then you have a problem with pacemakers, don't you? You have a problem with dialysis machines, don't you? You have a problem with chipping your pet. I think Elon Musk isn't looking to chip people and everybody. I think we're exaggerating. And this is what happens. He wants to innovate technology in with human anatomy to accomplish things like stopping cerebral palsy or stopping degenerative diseases based upon changing the pathways and neurons of the brains using
autism,
whatever.
or dementia.
So I think we need to stop. Yeah, and he probably wants to make phone calls. You don't have to buy an iPhone, but whatever. The guy is if you have a problem with Elon Musk, then you most certainly would have a problem with Nikola Tesla, because Nikola Tesla came up with some crazy shit too. Let's stop thinking that what he is creating is nefarious or has ulterior motives, but assume that once that technology is created, that people will utilize it for themselves and their own benefit and greed. That's why he's extremely careful with AI. So I don't have a problem with Elon Musk, okay? I don't. And you shouldn't either. But once again, this is America. All right, so let's go. By the way, no more hearing aids, right? Because they're going to control your brain. No more hearing aids either. That's what I thought. Okay, next, I think I love that video, and I'm gonna do a short on it. I don't know if I can release the Knight's Tale thing and people would stay engaged, but I think people should see that because I thought it was fantastic. Here's the next one.
It's funny, the whole time you were doing the story, people were quoting the movie.
It's a good
A
movie.
lot of people have seen it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've been weighed, you've been measured, you've been found
Wanting.
wanting.
Oh, such a good movie. That's one of my favorite. Shasa.
Got you through your surgery.
Yes, he did. Well, Breaking Bad got me through my surgery too. And Angel Wings from Social Distortion got me through my surgery. Both of them. Yeah, I love Knight's Tale. It's a fantastic movie. All right. This is from the lovely folks over in England.
Okay, this entire segment you have to talk with an English accent.
No, I don't think so.
This is why I need to get Hayden in here, and she can.
Hank can do it right. She'll be like, well, he's got bad teeth, Dad. He's got bad teeth. Now, I want to apologize.
Yeah, baby.
Yes. I want to apologize because this douche plow over here, this is this old man. I have got heart. What do we have for dinner tonight?
Beef stew. Never have heartburn with beef stew.
Never have heartburn ever like this.
Okay.
Me. Yeah, I'm good. So this guy on Instagram has like 97,000 followers. I'm still sitting at like 500. I just can't grow on some things. But this guy literally has, all he does is watch videos. He doesn't say shit. And he has an app that lights him on fire or adds steam coming off of his head or turns him into a troll. And this guy freaking has, I just don't, you know, I don't understand. I can literally write in one evening things that would be put into the shallows of the halls of Montezuma and King Tutankhamun and the founding fathers in the Shriers of the Freemasons. And nobody will watch it. But some jackass, 187-year-old, can have a flame filter and get 87,000 views. Okay, Rhiannon, I was going to do a show on this guy. Drink pickle juice or a shot of vinegar. I'm telling you, Rhiannon, you read the book or you saw the infomercial from the guy who sold the book, The Things That They Don't Want You to Know About.
We have pickles. Would you like some pickle juice?
Rhiannon, no, because I understand vinegar is a natural acidic dissolution for acidity. But what you need is more acidity going on in your gullet, because what's happening is that the acids are going in or creating too much gases. And that's why you use an antacid tablet. And then heartburn is the acidity spilling over. Adding more acid to a situation isn't going to help. People always say you should drink pickle juice or a shot of vinegar. I've tried that and it literally kills me. I don't know how anyone can do that.
I've never heard of that for heartburn.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
I probably would have done anything.
That's right. Brenda says no, not vinegar, as it has acid. Some people say drink orange juice. That's the guy who sold the book. And it makes sense when you think about it, because when you have acid burns on your hand, you use vinegar to go ahead and dissolve. It's stomach acid and hydrochloric or nephric acid are not the same things. Number one. And you can add some chemicals to one thing that will literally blow your whole fucking house up and then save you, and you can drink them when they're apart. So I don't know. I think you read that book. I was going to do that video because that guy was huge in like 2008, 2016. And he came out and he made this video and he sold books, you know, the medical solutions that they don't want you to know about. And like, this guy got sued and he was literally going to go to jail for selling things that weren't true. That sounded good. And he wrote these books. And one of them is using vinegar when you go ahead and have heartburn. And yeah, I don't think that works. Yeah. All right. Okay. Vinegar got rid of my acid reflux. I don't know. Maybe it does. It didn't work for me because I tried it and it made it 10 times worse. So maybe it's just a thing. Okay, enough. Let's watch this video. I want you to listen to it. Like I said, this guy, he has 100,000 followers for doing this. But this English woman, says some really cool stuff. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but listen to this.
It is an impossible thing for British people to understand the Second Amendment and why Americans have guns. But let me tell you.
Now, all this old fart is doing is sitting there on fire and pointing at this lady, and he has 100,000 followers.
You know what you need to do?
What?
You need to make a video like this sometime and just see if it gets you more followers, just to see.
Just to light myself on fire?
But this is the world that idolized Jersey Shore and the Kardashians. So not too bright, but.
All right, well, let's listen.
Americans would never allow a gas company to break into their homes and mess with things inside their homes. It's not even possible. Americans look at this and just go, they're incredulous. It's not believable that that could happen, because Americans are raised with freedom kind of hardwired into them. They're told it's your God-given right. Your freedom is yours, and your Second Amendment right is yours to defend your freedoms with. And British people are fed this diet of, mass school shootings and weapons are terrible and Piers Morgan's pant wetting. We mustn't have guns. Guns are a terrible thing. But the thing is, the Second Amendment is what separates America from about every other country on this planet. Because if you break into an American's home, you should plan on not being able to leave that home. It couldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. And it's why the Second Amendment is so important. It's what separates Americans. And right now, there is the greatest citizen militia of all time in America. And I find that to be a very reassuring thing, because every time Biden does something stupid, Americans buy another weapon. And that happens quite a lot. So go the Second Amendment. Go America.
Holy shit. I mean, it's literally like, were you laughing at the guy on fire?
I couldn't see because the camera's in the way. No, every time Biden says something stupid, and that happens a lot.
Yeah, Americans go out and buy a gun.
She needs to be queen. Oh my God.
So, but is it not terrifying? Is it not terrifying that people are so afraid to stand up for their rights, whether it be freedom of speech or the Second Amendment, because it's not popular anymore? That's an English woman. The people who we wound up writing the Declaration of Independence, a little love letter of a declaration of war. And then was created through the Constitution, a collection of documents to make the laws of our land and to enforce. So the tyrannical rule, if it ever reared its ugly head again, whether it came from our government or someone else's, could be thwarted because the power would reside with the people. It's terrifying that an English person needs to tell us what the Second Amendment is for. And it's disgusting to me. You look at Australia, which has been disarmed completely. England has been disarmed. And you want to look at the amount of death that's happened. The first thing when it comes to socialism and communism and what those governments do is disarm the people. The Nazis disarmed the Jews, impoverished areas. And yes, they threw fecal matter and vegetation at them, and they did all of those things. But a disarmed society is an easily controlled society, and an armed society is a free society. And that's the truth. It just terrifies me. And the fact that someone from England knows more about it than a lot of Americans, it's I have it. As always, if you want to see it, if you wait 1 second while I whip this out. It's all right here, right behind the awake but not woke celebratory hoodie that you can buy at thedumbshow.com. Save 10% by using DUM10, DUM10.
Sorry.
It's all right here. It's
I'll
okay.
just push them randomly. I didn't know you were going to put some up.
Here's all 300 pages written by Mr. Durham. Did I say Dunham?
No, you said Durham.
Okay, good.
Just like Bull Durham.
Yep. It's a PDF, so it has to load. There's a lot here, 300 pages. I've read them all. And I will tell you this. There's a few things that it did. Number one is that without any equivocation or a modicum of doubt, the Russian collusion story was a complete hoax. Thank you. We had no fucking idea. But it does put it on paper. It does put it in black and white. It does state it for the record that the FBI and they did not subpoena Clapper or Brennan. They did not get Comey on the record or HRC. And so I want to show you this to remind you. Maybe. Yep, I do. Here it is. Listen to this shit.
To our future, the damage being done to our values, our institutions, and try to think of ways that I can help those who are on the front lines of the fight.
Your name doesn't come up much on any campaign except for Donald Trump's. Lock her up is still a big popular line.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows that there were a bunch of different reasons why the election turned out the way it did. And I take responsibility for those parts of it that I should. But Jane, it was like applying for a job and getting 66 million letters of knows that there were a bunch of different reasons why the election turned out the way it did. And I take responsibility for those parts of it that I should. But Jane, it was like applying for a job and getting 66 million letters of recommendation and losing to a corrupt human tornado. And so I know that he knows that this wasn't on the level. I don't know that we'll ever know everything that happened, but clearly we know a lot and are learning more every day, and history will probably sort it all out. So of course he's obsessed with me, and I believe that it's a guilty conscience in so much as...
That woman, with no doubt, should be in prison.
Oh my God.
It-
Oh, she's just cringeworthy. Oh, man.
This is the party that tells you that our democracy is in jeopardy by trying to subvert an election. Now, all the bullshit about January 6th, even if all of that's true, and that somehow these people who were not armed were going to hold the U.S. government and the government was going to surrender, right? Well, they're in the anteroom chamber. Oh, no, they're on the Senate floor. That's it. That's it. We have to surrender. Sir, we have NORAD. We have SAC. We've got 11 aircraft carriers. We have 11 battle groups. We've got 250,000 military men. We've got 10 million veterans. We can call on NATO, the UN. We can call on our allies. No. There are 50 to 100 extremely determined, somewhat smelly, unshaven heathens who've taken over, and we're going to have to surrender. But sir, we're $1 trillion defense spending. No. Shh. No. We must surrender. Give me a fucking break. Our democracy was never in jeopardy on January 6th. That is a complete joke. This is what democracies are. With nightshade deals, with daggers dripped with poison behind thy back, ready to stab Caesar. They made up a suspense, exchanging dollars and influence with Putin, a massive Russian disinformation campaign that was found to change no votes in any way, shape, or form. A 24 hours news cycle that was only as egregious as the COVID death ticker, talking about Russian collusion for 4 fucking years, with no retraction, with no remorse, hundreds of thousands of hours of coverage on something that wasn't true, and they all knew it wasn't true. The president of the United States, the vice president of the United States, the chief of staff, the department heads, the leader of the DNC, Wasserman Schultz, John Podesta, were given Emmys on their coverage. People were given sponsorships and internships based upon articles written on the coverage from students working at these media companies. Books were written where millions of dollars changed hands. And I'm sure there would have been a Netflix special. Hillary Clinton was complicit. Brenner was complicit. Clapper was complicit. Strzok, Page, Joe Biden,
Obama.
Barack Obama, John Podesta, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. All of these people were complicit in the effort to ensure that Donald Trump was either not president, arrested so he couldn't be president, or personally destroyed so his credibility would no longer allow him to remain president. And you people from the left and Democrats are going to sit here and expect us to believe about Stormy fucking Daniels and Michael Avenatti, that somehow that when Michael Avenatti's sitting in prison and Stormy Daniels is on her knees sucking 12 guys off right now, and you're going to expect us to believe them. Or you're going to expect us to believe E. Jean Carroll, who basically looked like she got ran over by the fucking ugly truck, who doesn't know when it happened, can't give any specifics, doesn't have any key witnesses other than supposedly people she told, posts on Facebook that her favorite Sunday night shows, she loves her Sunday night shows, and she absolutely is addicted to The Apprentice with Donald Trump. How many, Olivia, when you get raped by a man, do you wish that he would become a celebrity so you could watch him on TV?
Absolutely.
Oh, I just can't.
So dreamy.
Because, you know, rape is fantasy and it's sexy. And there's nothing sexier than watching my rapist on TV. It is such fucking bullshit. Donald Trump is guilty of one thing unequivocally. He perpetuated and pushed a false narrative about a stolen fucking election. And we know that with all the things that happened to him, how can you blame him? How can you fucking blame him when people around him told him this was true and it wound up being not true? But there is something they did do. And we know what they did. We know that they changed state constitutions under emergency powers through COVID. We know that judges changed law when it comes to voting and soliciting votes, which is unconstitutional, by sending out mass ballots to give the most single-handed, lopsided amount of votes ever in U.S. history by over 80 million fucking votes. The biggest election we have seen, almost double that we've ever seen. And we know that's unconstitutional. And unfortunately, Donald Trump got some horrible information. He listened to the wrong people, and he's been doing it ever since, and he should be ashamed. He should be ashamed because you admit that he was wrong. Because the 2,000 mules and the Tennessee bombing of the Pac Bell and George Soros working in Buenos Aires and all of this and the secret watermarks and the broken pipelines and the bags under tables, all of this shit is nuance that just confirms that we don't know what we think we know. So you can hold him accountable for that, and you can be pissed at him for that. And yes, January 6th happened because he stoked the flames of fire to his followers, and some of them got out of hand. You know what didn't happen? 72 million of them didn't get out of hand. And none of us rioted. And what we simply did was say, this is unfair, and this isn't cool, and I don't like it. No, 2,000 mules does not make a good argument. because I will blow 2,000 mules away right now, Leon, and here it is. Are you ready? All that evidence, all that cell phone data, all that video. How do you know they weren't Trump supporters? You don't. And that's the one thing. 2,000 mules, you can go ahead and get the true story of what happened in the election for $29.95. And if you act now, you can get a free set of steak knives that will slice and dice through a hammer and still cut through tomato. Do we get a MyPillow with that too? Let me tell you something, man. I'm a lot like Elon Musk. I'm not here to get rich. I'll never stop my free speech. But I'll tell you what, if I had the story of all stories that would get me a Nobel Peace Prize and a Pulitzer, and I would get the Peabody Award, and I would have a Netflix movie made after me, and I would finally get the credibility that I deserve because Obama had me arrested because I spoke bad about him, what I would not do is put it behind a $29.99 paywall in order to make sure people knew about it. That's my problem with Dinesh D'Souza. Now, I have had this conversation 1,000 times, and the same thing happens. Some people get mad. Screw it. I'm going to unfriend you. Bye. Just like people will say, oh, you can't advertise on Twitter, or I might lose a little money. Well, guess what? This is my, not opinion. These are the facts. Because I have laid this out for people for 2.5 years, and there is only one story that nobody has disproven. Because you can't. Because mine has a paper trail, and they did it right in front of everybody. That's fine, Dorita. Tell me, or maybe Dorita's not talking to me. Dorita's been here a while, so I'm assuming she's not talking to me.
I don't even see her comment.
It's okay. Doesn't matter. There are people who think, oh, this is wrong. It was 2,000 mules. It was bags of votes. It was. Folks, there is a very simple process that we can walk through, and I can tell you the story again, but that's not important. Just look up one piece of information for me. Look up Wisconsin and look up Michigan and look at their primary and look who was in the lead. Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg, 13% and 21% respectively. Do you know who sucked hind tit at 3%? Joseph R. fucking Biden. Joseph Biden. What happened in South Carolina and North Carolina? When was Kamala Harris announced? When did this line come out? Black.
Oh.
Biden.
Yep.
When did this line come out? Here it is. Leon, I love you too, buddy.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
That one quote opened up about another 17 quotes of racial epitaphs that Joseph Biden said. North Carolina and South Carolina poll numbers went in the absolute fucking trash. And you know what the DNC said? They saw Hillary Clinton 2.0, where all of a sudden all the super delegates came out and Bernie Sanders lost. Bernie Sanders was going to win the Democratic National Convention. He was going to win. And then the super delegates came out and saved Hillary Clinton's ass. Well, guess what? The same thing happened in 2020, but you weren't paying attention. Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg were the front runners. Joe Biden couldn't win a fucking carnival game. Dude, Leon, I love you too. I'm not mad at you. 2,000 mules is dog shit. Love you. It's not dog shit. It's great. It's a great hypothetical story that made Dinesh D'Souza a lot of money, just like Hillary Clinton's America and other stuff, just like Oliver Stone makes good money doing that. And just like Michael Moore makes good money, it doesn't make it real. You going to bed? I love you, baby. I'm going to give you a Wi-Fi hug so you don't trip. You want a hug that makes my heart warm. Come here. Are you okay?
She's
I'm
tired.
just tired.
I love you. Love. See you in the morning. Thanks for my hug. You're a good girl. All right. We're not going to get in. Carrie Lake is making progress with her fake signature lawsuit. Yep. And you know what's going to happen? Nothing. And that's the shame of it. That's the shame of it. Because under election law and under COVID law, they changed the rules for the signature verification. This is the problem. I have no doubt that Carrie Lake can expose that there was fraud and there were certain things. Did she and can she show the missing votes that would get her to win? That's all. Can she? And if they're not there, then ultimately Carrie Lake is going to do the one thing that Carrie Lake should do, election reform, and she's going to push change. And I would love to see her do it. But why don't we focus on the things that are truly matter in election? How about election registry databases? Where over 13% of those databases either have people who've moved out of state, they're dead, they're no longer registered with their political party, or they no longer have the right to vote because of crimes or felonies, or they may be out of state. They may be overseas, and they may be getting a paper ballot and a mail-in ballot at the same time. There are so many things that we need to do. But folks, here's the problem. I'm getting off the election right now because I've already done.
You real quick.
Yeah, go.
You just had 160,000 followers. I just thought I'd let you know.
We just hit 160 live.
Yeah, I've been watching it.
Look at that, everybody.
I just thought that was pretty awesome.
Look at that. Whoa. Holy shit. There it is. 160,000 people live. Wow. That's pretty good. And we still only have 150 people on Facebook and maybe 200 on all. That doesn't matter. Listen, if you guys want to talk about the election, people tell me to write the book. Write a book, Matt. You know what? I'm not going to write a book because I don't have time to write a book. I do the show. That's what I do. I do shows, and maybe someday it'll take off. But here's what it comes down to. Real quick. Evelyn says, Matt, question. I'm an independent. Should I change to Republican? Evelyn, there are some things that you should covet. What happens in your bedroom should stay in your bedroom. The worst parts of your life that you don't want people to know about should stay with your family. The conversation that you have is between you and God and no other. If you do something that you're ashamed of, you should ask for forgiveness. And lastly, what political party you belong to is nobody's decision but your own. Here's what I'll tell you. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're an independent. I don't care if you're not registered. What I care about is that when the time comes that you have to speak with a voice, can you stand behind your vote? And if you can, then it doesn't matter which party you're with. I vote Republican because they are the only party right now that leaves the Constitution alone, minus the Patriot Act. But the United States government has invested trillions into our software and our spy network, and we're never going to lose it. We have went to a place where we are so interdependent on collection of digital intelligence that we will never move on, and the Patriot Act will remain forever, just so you know. Privacy is no longer a right of Americans. We no longer have it. We will never have it. And honestly, we never really had it anyway. But who you belong to and which group you want to represent you, that's truly up to you. And I won't tell you, but I can tell you, I have voted for Democrats. I have voted for independents. I have voted for Republicans. I have voted for a Tea Party candidate. I've voted for libertarians. Political party means nothing to me. At all. If that helps. Last video. Liv, what do you got?
Didn't ask my opinion about the Hillary Clinton video.
Oh, Livy, what do you think about the Hillary Clinton video, baby? I thought you already said you hated that woman.
No, I started laughing and then you went.
I'm sorry, sweet pea. Go ahead. Oh, geez. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to say my favorite part was when she said that Donald Trump has a guilty conscience.
Right.
I don't think he's ever felt guilty about anything.
Yeah,
I
don't think he gives a shit. Evelyn, become a Republican. That's the best thing I can give you. Here's the thing: is Democrats are needed for some things. For social change, Democrats. I mean, here's the thing: the thing you need to know: Republicans don't want change. That's the truth. They don't want change. They believe in very little change. They believe in the status quo. Democrats want revolutionary and chaotic change. Does that make sense? And both are needed sometimes. Both are absolutely needed. LGBTQT rights. No, LGB rights needed chaotic pushing to get it done because the Democrats 12 years ago, they despised the LGBTQ community. At least Republicans didn't pretend. But then they understood it was politically advantageous. And once it grew up to 6, 7, 8% of the population, they knew it was one of the largest demographics of minorities in the country, and they wanted them for votes. So of course they embraced them. I mean, they'll embrace pedophiles if enough of them come out of the fucking woodwork. But the thing I'm trying to say to you is that both parties are necessary at some point. And if you want infrastructure and you want social change and you want programs for the people, Democrats have done some amazing things for the American populace. And I will go through them with you if you would like. Democrats do not hate our Republican rights. It's not true. Leftists do. Now, there is a very fine line between leftists, liberals, and Democrats now, and the lines are becoming more and more murky. But I'm not going to condemn 82 million people, just like the fucking left should not condemn 71 million Trump supporters. That's a very dangerous thing that we're doing. It's a very dangerous thing we're doing. And I will not do it. I don't call Democrats Democrats or Demikins or whatever else that you want to call them, or libtards, because I think it trivializes and lowers the conversation. Olivia will tell you, I fervently refuse to have people label Democrats that way. I think it's wrong. Now, you want to talk about socialists and leftists and progressives? Call them what they are. Leftist is a big enough insult. But I want to talk about this white supremacy thing. We heard about this last night. Joe Biden came out and said, white supremacists and all these white supremacists. This is what he said. I want you to listen to this. And then I'm going to put these together because they're selling this very, very hard that the nation is being overrun with white supremacists. Nazis on a string. Nazis on a stick at your local barbecue. Would you like a side of Nazis with your Big Mac? It's fucking ridiculous. Listen to this.
We know that American history has not always been a fairy tale. From the start, it's been a constant push and pull for more than 240 years. Between the best of us, the American ideal that we're all created equal, and the worst of us, the harsh reality that racism has long torn us apart. It's a battle that's never really over. But on the best days, enough of us have the guts and the hearts to stand up for the best in us. To choose love over hate, unity over disunion, progress over retreat. To stand up against the poison of white supremacy, as I did my inaugural address, to single out as the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy. We can finally resolve those ongoing questions about who we are as a nation. That puts strength of our diversity at the center of American life. The future that celebrates and learns from history. A future for all Americans. A future I see you leading, and I'm not, again, exaggerating. You are going to be leading it. Again, let's be clear. There are those that don't see you and don't want this future. There are those who demonize and pit people against one another. And there are those who do anything and everything, no matter how desperate or immoral, to hold on to power. And that's never going to be an easy battle. But I know this, the oldest, most sinister forces may believe they'll determine America's future, but they are wrong. We will determine America's future.
No, the minority will determine the future because that's their job, not yours, you incredulous douchebag.
I couldn't see the comment.
It's okay. Just say hi, Carol. That's all.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. She said hi. Here's the thing. Is white supremacy real? Yes. Just like black supremacy and brown supremacy. Just like female supremacy and male supremacy. Rich supremacy and poor supremacy. Christian supremacy and Gentile supremacy and Jew supremacy and Catholic supremacy. Shiites and Sunni supremacy. Plumbers and woodworker supremacy. Gas station attendants and Wall Street supremacy. It's all over the place. And it's not contained in one demographic. It's everywhere. Now, have I ever met a white supremacist? Yeah. But I've also met black supremacy too. And I will tell you this. Just like Antifa is no big deal, because they aren't. And they would get wiped off the map in about 2 seconds if anyone had the gumption to do so. Because it's hard to carry a weapon when you have an Xbox controller and a Mountain Dew in one hand and a bag of Cheetos in your crotch, living in your mommy's basement. I don't care about skinheads. I don't care about Nazis. I don't care about the Klan. They are a marginalized, infinitesimal group of people that hold no bearing in society today. I don't give a fuck about any of those. I don't care about Black Panthers. I don't care about Proud Boys. I don't care about the Patriot Front. I don't care about the Socialist Party of America. I don't give a crap about any of those people. And you don't either, because you don't know any of them and nobody else does. And we never see them because they are literally roaches. They are pimples on the ass of our republic. And they mean nothing. And they can be popped anytime we get the comeuppance to do so. This is a video of the Patriot Front. Now, these are a splinter group of a neo-Nazi fascist group out of Texas. The leaders have been identified. They've been identified. I can show you, I can tell you their names. I can tell you how they started. I can list the 175 events that they've been to since their inception in 2017. I can list all of them because most of these events are documented. I can show you pictures of who they are. And if you really believe that I can't, I'll show you. The biggest thing that people say is they don't know who they are. The FBI haven't infiltrated them. Yes, they know who they are. They know who all the Klan members are. They know who the Black Panthers are. And you may think a lot about our FBI, but I will tell you this. These groups have been infiltrated and they know who these people are. Now, I'm not here to defend the FBI. I can tell you what the FBI has done over the last 50 years, and it starts with J. Edgar Hoover, and it stops with Ray. They have hundreds of fuck-ups in our history. If the FBI would do what they're supposed to do, these groups would be locked down and shut down, but that's not good for America. Because remember, we only care about people's civil rights who support the narrative. We only care about the rights of the Constitution and freedom of speech when they actually help raise money for Democrats. When white supremacist groups, we care about their freedom of speech when we're Democrats because it does support the narrative that all white people want to put black people back in chains, according to Joe Biden. Think. The same reason they don't want to help the minority communities because that's their constituents and they depend on the government. Because why would they be Democrats if you took away all of the government subsidies and the free handouts that the government gives the minority community just to keep them on the tit of the Democratic Party? If you take that away, they would be Republicans. Think. But this shit right here, this is not fake. This is not the FBI. Folks, it's time that you realize that everything you see isn't a media con. That everything you see isn't the Democrats trying to change your mind. There are white nationalist groups in this country. You need to be aware of that. And if you don't, I challenge you to walk 300 yards out our front door of my wife and I, where you will find active KKK people in our city. Town.
Village. More like a village.
Whatever. I'm surprised they haven't burned a cross on my lawn the way that I talk about those idiots.
Oh, they don't have the balls.
They don't have the balls. Here's the thing. This group is real. Now, there are 100 disinformation. If you go to Amazon, they stopped selling it. This white balaclava. It looks like a fire hood that you get in DC and fire control in the military. And essentially, instead of the black Antifa balaclava covering, they're white. Go figure. Black and white symmetry. Spy versus spy. Good versus evil. Ebony versus ivory dyslexic style. This group is tiny and small and insignificant, but their numbers are growing and they're going to take over any day now. This is what we're afraid of. Watch these knuckleheads. First of all, these are not military people. These guys couldn't march leaving April. No. These guys couldn't march leaving February. Okay? There's no way.
What is up with the flags upside down?
Well, I'm going to address that. The second thing is that the flag's upside down. Listen, knuckleheads. Listen to me. Flag etiquette 101. Flag etiquette 101. Upside down flag does not mean nation in distress. It does not mean nation in distress. Just because you think it does, it doesn't. It is used in the most dire circumstances and emergencies in a situation of distress or the fact that there is trouble. But people have applied it to the nation. It is disrespectful. There is nothing you can do when you see a flag upside down to help the nation. That is a false dog whistle bullshit call. And I see it on Facebook all the time. And as a person who has a 30-foot flagpole outside their house, right, it is not a distress symbol. It is not a distress symbol for the nation because that's why they're doing it. The nation is in distress. Bullshit. That's not what it means. It is absolutely disrespectful. You are not to fly the flag upside down. You shouldn't put the cross upside down in the crucifix. Fly the fucking flag upright or don't fly it at all. That does not mean what you think it means. It was used in the Revolutionary War. It is used by very seldom anymore. But say a bank is held hostage and they put the colors up every day and the robbers say, hey, go and put that flag up because you do it every single day and they hoist it upside down. It's to show a signal. Most people wouldn't even know what it meant. Most people wouldn't take the time to go into that bank and say, hey, you know your flag's upside down? It was for military bases to show signs. And it was used in a battle to show the refortification of the fort that had already fallen, that they flew the flag in order to warn the American troops not to approach the base as a signal. It is in flag etiquette, and it is used for solitary or single type buildings, forts, etc. It is not used to show the nation is in distress. In no way, shape, or form is there anything in Flag Etiquette 101 that says fly the flag upside down to show that your nation is in distress. You're fucking making stories up. So if you support this group on the merit alone that they're all masked and they look like fucking white Antifa, there's a problem here. Don't tell me these are all FBI. When a flag is half-mast, it shows respect that somebody in a prestigious way has fallen or something tragic has happened in the country. If you want to go ahead and demonstrate that the country is in distress, fly your flag at half-mast, but you're also breaking code because half-mast is based upon towns, city, municipalities, states, and national order. And you do it in camaraderie, not in singularity. If you can't turn on the news, if you can't check your bank account, if you can't look at the things going on in the world and identify that we're in distress, the thing is no matter how many times you put that flag upside down, nobody is coming to fix it. So don't dishonor our flag in the process. Do not dishonor our flag in the process to show your myopic petulance.
It's just the same as people kneeling for the
It's
anthem.
exactly like that. In my opinion, you're assigning a cause that has nothing to do with our nation's colors. Pick something else.
They are the ultimate, a vast and unsustainable economic racket. Have you tried Tinder? And our rural communities are forgotten entirely unless struck by disaster trees. But America is all we have, purchased in the blood and toil of our ancestors. We have proven that change is possible. The kind of change so seldom seen in today's America, that is, change for the better.
And then unceremoniously folded their flags inappropriately and wrapped them around their steel sticks and shoved them in the back of a U-Haul truck. No, these are not veterans. No, these are not patriots. No, they're not Americans. They can't even fucking march in step.
Why are the police there?
Because the police know that there are people who would want open conflict with them because they are spewing white nationalist bullshit. If you would like me to read some of their charter and chapter mantra, I'll be happy to. Now I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to test the people in this chat, because I'm going to show you the Rachel Maddow show, and I'm going to show you where is flag etiquette. You can go to usflag.gov. You can go to I've linked it many times, but all you got to do is just type in flag etiquette, and it'll walk you through. You can go to the VFW. And you can get a handout. You can, Boy Scouts have it, fire departments have it, but they will have flag etiquette. Like right now, my flag, my solar light went out, and I had to go and get my 30-footer. Go ahead, honey. You're fine. I had to go get my 30-footer. Shut up, Liv. Jeez. So I know you are. Go eat. So I had to get my 30-footer lit at night, and I took down the colors so it wouldn't. I want you to watch this because Rachel Maddow is a nut job. I don't like Maddow. I think she's a fucking nut. I used to love Rachel Maddow when she wasn't a fucking nut because
we used to watch her.
She was fantastic. I mean, there was a time CNN actually reported the news, but she's gone the way of the dodo. However, I'm going to show you things that are good, and I think this is fucking hilarious. So enjoy. And I got to give Maddow credit because I actually smiled when I watched it, and I can do this once in a while, which is appreciate. I love Bill Maher. People don't like me because I like Bill Maher, and I don't give a shit whether you like me because I like Bill Maher. Watch this.
They wore their little masks, and they had their little shields, and they held upside down American flags. This is once again the white supremacist glee club that calls itself Patriot Front. They marched this weekend in D.C. trying to intimidate people, chanting racist slogans. And a local D.C. man named Joe Flood heard that they were out there, heard that that was happening. When he heard that they were out there in his city, he hopped on a bike and he went to go try to find them on the National Mall. You can see Mr. Flood there on the right. He's got the red bike standing near the group. Mr. Flood told us when he found them today, he felt suddenly that it was his duty to say something. So he did.
There is simply no time. There will be no memory of America to continue. No history to fight for.
You were the losers of your high school class.
Into this one Americans are cast adrift
not even
and crushed underfoot.
You all got different types of pants on.
The cities have turned waste.
Reclaim your virginity.
Anarchist.
Mr. Flood told us, quote, this guy was giving the speech. He kept having to stop and pull it out of his pocket and then start reading it again. So every time he stopped, I would yell at him and say he was boring. And then I said, why can't you memorize your speech? Why can't you memorize your speech? And then I said, you look like General Custer's illegitimate son. The guy sighed and looked at me, and I thought, I got you. I got in your head. Now get out of my town. The white supremacist group eventually left D.C. this weekend, but not before Joe Flood took up permanent residence in the heart of the city.
That was good. That was good.
It's great. It's fine.
Yeah, what was up with the shields? What are they trying to be like Captain America or something?
Well, it's yeah, it's ridiculous. First of all, it's kind of funny when your name, people think, well, these guys are a bunch of freaking FBI agents, and the name of your group is actually called a Patriot Front. A front, you know, like a front is a pseudo building or a falsified presentation. It's a front. It's fake. Patriot Front is a white supremacist group whose members maintain that their ancestors conquered America and bequeathed it to them and no one else. Patriot Front justifies its ideology of hate and intolerance under the guise of preserving the ethnic and cultural origins of its members' European ancestors. Patriot Front spreads its hateful propaganda via the internet and distributing banners, flyers, posters, etc. Since 2019, I wear cargo pants too. I'm wearing cargo pants right now, okay?
They're apparently in style according to our 13-year-old daughter.
I'm just letting you know, I wear them too. I just thought it was kind of funny. I don't like Rachel Maddow. Folks, if you can't watch the opposing viewpoint and laugh once in a while when a blind squirrel finds a nut, you're a part of the problem. Judy says that's a false front. Yeah, Judy, but you have no evidence of that whatsoever. And I actually happen to know several of the members from Texas who are actually involved in the group. So I disagree with you. One of the students' most visible white supremacist groups, Patriot Front, participates in localized flash demonstrations across the nation. Their origins. Here's two of the members right now. This is one of the guys that you saw. Over here, this is Custard's illegitimate son. And they actually stemmed from Vanguard America, which is a real group, in August of 2017. The names of the people are Both Rosa and Dylan Hopper, or Dylan Irizarry are their names. The American Nationalist Front says there are divergent opinions among white supremacists about optics and how to best promote their cause to the public. Rosso's camp prefers to promote American nationalism and advocate for the racist ideology that appeals to conservatives using ostensibly unifying symbols like the American flag. In that same vein, Patriot Front uses an image of a fasces, the original symbol of fascism, a bundle of sticks featured on an axe encircled by 13 stars, as an American symbol of revolutionary spirit. Anti-Semitism. In 2018, less than a year after splintering from the openly anti-Semitic neo-Nazi Vanguard America, Patriot Front transitioned from using explicitly anti-Semitic and traditional white supremacist language in its propaganda to using more ambiguous messaging, including phrases such as American First, United We Stand, Better Dead Than Red, Two Parties, One Tyranny, Reclaim America, and Not Stolen, Conquered. They also changed the URL to their website, naming the website after the group rather than using the right-wing nationalist slogan, Blood and Soil. Since mid-2018, Patriot Front has continued to build its brand. The group's propaganda was used to target Jewish institutions across the country, including the Museum of Tolerance in Los Angeles, and the sample of their Discord chats. Here's an example. These are not mine. Quote, Jews are not exempt from my moral convictions. If I say that a matter is reprehensible, repugnant, and so on, Jews are not given a clearance to our moral judgment. That is the beauty of a universal moral structure. No one is exempt. Our condemnations apply just as much to Jews as anyone else. Quote, we have zero obligation to allow people into the organization. This goes for new and old members alike. It is a privilege to be here. You have to earn it. We have no place for morally bankrupt Jewish revolutionary men. Quotations. The only problem I see is that America had Jewish financiers to get it going. I think it's just an unfortunate fact of life that most of the world's resources are held by a tiny group of people with equally tiny hats. Question, quotation, I mean, Santa is less of a lie than the Holocaust. Quote, the biggest threat to America right now is the Jewry because of their overall subversion, browning of America, race mixing, porn, and drug pushing, etc.
Wow.
Quote, biggest threat to America is the media that is being used to make everyone into easily controlled zombies. The Jews run the news. Quote, media pushes anti-white agenda and inciting acts of violence against whites like in Waukesha or Waukesha, or however the fuck you pronounce it, don't correct me, and BLM riots. The Jewish control in the media pushes the anti-white narrative. If you would like me to go through, this is all of it. Now, I will tell you this. Just because you have some people pushing some anti-Semitic things and racial things does not necessarily mean that the group is entirely white nationalist, but I will tell you that these groups fly under the cloak of cover. They may say one thing because they understand that they will be labeled, they will become a hate group, and then obviously the government will be all up their ass like white on rice. This group has done a very good job to hide its overall viewpoints. Here's what it comes down to. For you to say that white nationalist groups don't exist in the United States, I will tell you that you're a part of the problem. For the people that think it's the largest threat to America, you are also a part of the fucking problem. White nationalist groups cannot thrive in this vacuum that we've created. Racism no longer is the predominant viewpoint of Americans. It never was. You can pretend it was, but it wasn't. Because if it was, then the civil rights movement never would have happened. Barack Obama would never be the president. You would not have the NBA. Let's be clear. White supremacy is a myth. Just because there's more white people than black people is just a simple matter of what the settlers did when they came here and the way we treated African Americans when we here, which most assuredly was racist and was a supremacist attitude. We are far removed from that. There are groups in the United States that believe that white people are inherently rulers of this country. Those people are laughed at, similar to the person who talks to a chipmunk in McDonald's and lives in the back alley and eats hamburgers from the trash. Nobody takes them seriously. Can we stop pretending that white supremacy is going to overtake the United States just as bad as in 2014 that we thought Sharia law was coming and my wife was going to be in a burqa and I had to fucking cane her if she disagreed with me? As good as that sounds, at times, it was never going to happen. Muslims weren't going to take over America. And nobody was going to overthrow the government on January 6th. Can you please pull your fucking heads out of your ass and focus on why eggs are so expensive and gas is so expensive and my mortgage rates are skyrocketing and college is unaffordable because of predatory lending and why I can't sell my current house and enjoy the $300,000 cash because it'll be washed away with new payments because 6.5% fucking interest from the Fed. Can we talk about World War III? Can we talk about Ukraine? Can we talk about the Middle East and eroding? Can we talk about the dollar no longer being able to be attached to a gallon of gas because the petrol dollar is being replaced? Can we talk about the things that are important? Can we talk about the Constitution of the United States? Can we talk about the sanctity of life? Can we talk about the inner cities? Can we talk about gang violence? Can we talk about school shootings and that maybe we might have to give an inch in order to save a mile? Can we stop fucking talking about things that don't matter because racial divide is not important? Because I love my black neighbors. I love my white neighbors. I love my Mexican neighbors. I love my Jewish neighbors. And I love my Muslim neighbors. But I also despise them sometimes, always. And it doesn't mean that I'm racist. We should be able to say that we don't like a certain group of people, not based on the color of their skin, but by their actions. In fact, that's what Martin Luther King said, and that's what he wanted. This new Democratic Party is unrecognizable as it would be to Kennedy or Martin Luther King. And this conservative party would be unrecognizable to Abraham Lincoln and to Ronald Reagan. We need to look at ourselves. And if you're a person that's saying that this is all FBI and this isn't real, you're just as bad as the Democrats that say that Antifa isn't real. It's amazing how most similar we really are in these two parties, because when you divide yourself by ideological entrenchment, you believe the opposite of what that group thinks. And that makes you just as bad, because what they think is full of shit. And a lot of the things that we think are full of shit too. And why you can't figure that out, I don't understand. We have to stop allowing groups like that to be maligned with Republicans, because they hold nothing in common with Republican values. Republican values don't believe in a white country. Republican values don't believe that minorities don't get a vote. We don't believe that the minority is ill represented, that individual rights are less important than the collective. No Republican platform believes in that. We don't believe in government spending without accountability. We don't believe in people skirting the rule of law. I don't know what you are, but I am a conservative Republican. This new face of Republicanism is a clusterfuck. It basically looks like like mentally challenged Democrats. We have to stop breaking it down to the lowest common denominator. The color of our skin means nothing in the hierarchy of life. We shit the same way, we eat the same way, we die the same way, we screw the same way, and we all get afraid the same way. Stop making it about skin color. There's so many more important things to focus on.
There are assholes in every race.
That is correct. Well, folks, that's my preaching moment. I hope you enjoyed it. A lot of people stayed on. And the Patriot Front, FBI, who knows? Even if they are, we can say those people are stupid and they don't represent me. And I don't care who they are. Can't we? Here, I'll say it. The Patriot Front are a bunch of fucking morons. Antifa are a bunch of fucking morons. See? It wasn't hard. And I still watch Bill Maher, and I still love Ben Shapiro, and I'll still watch Joe Rogan every single day. Doesn't change me a damn bit to listen to other people's opinions. Folks, that's it for the Don't Unfriend Me show tonight. Olivia, you got your minute. You got anything you want to chime in on? I'm sorry I was going off tonight.
Here's your show tonight.
You want to share something?
Denver's leading 106-92 in the third.
Fucking crush LA.
Oh, it's end of the third. So
crush LA. Go Nuggets.
And
hey, Canada. Sorry, maybe next year.
and Houston's leading 7-3, top of the ninth. 1-0.
All right, let's go watch
Let's
go watch some baseball and basketball. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Impromptu show. We'll be back tomorrow night. Is that right? Wednesday night, we will be here with a whole new lighting system for Olivia. The camera looks great. She's going to be illuminated.
Actually, it may not be here till 10, so we may not have a whole new lighting system.
It won't be.
Tomorrow.
It never shows up at 10. It'll show up at like 6. Right on point, Matt, in colorful neighborhood, and we look out for each other 24/7. Yeah. I hope you guys don't leave. I hope you watch the show. Hey, Shane says, well, we know where you stand. I don't know if you do, Shane. I think you know my opinion on a few things. That I don't believe that we need to continue to trivialize and worry about things that don't matter. But do you think I agree that we should listen to Democrats when they want to talk about abortion? No. I don't think we should compromise our morals for circumspect and arbitrary dialogue about what life is and isn't. As we don't get to take life, we don't get to define life either. Why would God grant us the power or the lack of power to take a life, but then define what life is? I don't think anyone gets to define what life is. I think that's one person's job, and that's the Creator. That's certainly not me. You could even break it down to that's the parents or God. It's not my business. So I'll defend that life fervently because I believe in that. Is that where you think I stand? Or do you wonder where maybe I stand with the Second Amendment? Do I believe that we should own cannons and A-10s and bazookas? And the answer would be absolutely not. Because the training involved in that are very much different than a musket or a pickle gun, or anything else, or a cannon. And I believe that there are people that have no business with a bazooka because I went through basic training and I saw what people did with grenades as they almost got themselves killed because they threw the pin versus throwing the grenade. So I don't believe, I also think some people shouldn't be able to vote because they're stupid. But alas, I don't get to decide that. But where I stand is very seldom in the same place. So I don't think you understand where I stand. Hopefully that's why you watch the show, because I challenge your thought process. But here's the thing that I'll tell you is that I can always change where I stand. Where I stand is side by side with you. The question is do you believe that or not? Do you believe that if you were threatened or harmed or someone wanted to hurt you, that I wouldn't stand shoulder to shoulder because that's in my best interest to do so? Or do you really think that I would break you down to a political ideology and consider that to be your value? So before you say you know where I stand, maybe you should spend some more time finding out where I truly stand and where I truly am. Because I don't think tonight really sums up all that's about me, as I certainly don't believe that a picture or one sentence sums up all about you. I think we should spend some time courting each other before we make those declarative statements. But you get to decide whatever you want to do, and I will do what I want to do. Stars. What about stars, Carson? What happened with stars? Did we get stars all of a sudden? What happened?
I don't know. It'd be nice.
Red background is nice, Matt, in Facebook live chat. What red background?
Apparently, every once in a while, somebody, when they post a comment, the background of their Facebook page goes red.
What?
And that's what they were talking about the other night, too. I don't know. It's never happened to me, but...
What?
I don't know. It's their feed or something. I don't know. Remember when people were saying red? It's going red in the comments last night?
Yeah.
That's what it's going on.
Really?
Yeah. They got to get back out and get back in for it to be normal. I don't know.
Well, that's a
Facebook's
glitch
weird.
in Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook's
Well,
been
because
weird
this
lately.
essentially, this graphic right here, that's back. It's an artifact, right? And behind, hi guys, holy shit. Hey, everybody. So that's what that is. It's an image. And that would make sense. It's a static image and this is video. So something is happening in the codec. Huh. Anyway, folks, enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching the Donut Friendly Show. We'll be back tomorrow. We will also have a recorded show tomorrow. Please stop by The Dumb Show at thedumbshow.com. Pick yourself up a cool hat, a shirt, some coffee. Olivia will be here tomorrow. Amy, Leroy might decide to pop in. It's good to have you. Thanks for watching. Whether we agree or disagree, love me, hate me, please just don't unfriend me. I haven't said that in a while, and it somehow seemed apropos to do it tonight.
Somebody said, remember everyone deployed. It said Red Friday.
But it's not Red Friday. You can't do it. No, you can only do it on Red Friday.
Okay.
Nope. Can't do it. It's got to be Red Friday. Do me a favor, everybody. Please stop by to thedumbshow.com. Go take a look. Thanks for stopping by tonight. We are outie here. By the way, this show is brought to you by PFC, Percival Flag Company. Real quick, take a watch and then stick around for a message for Veteran Crisis Hotline, which is extremely important. Thanks, everybody, for your comments tonight. I read everything tonight. It's good to have you here. PFC, brought to you by the best flag company in the world, where rock and roll and fire are forged in the lower rings of hell to bring you the coolest wooden American flag ever. PFCflags.com. Go take a look at PFC flags if you are interested. And last but not least, Veteran Crisis Hotline. We are out. See you tomorrow.
Night, y'all.
I'm David Boreanaz with the cast of SEAL Team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call